Good evening, assistant principals. I hope you had a great day today at school. Tonight during our learning session, we are going to discuss using data and turning it into dialogue so that we can coach our teachers effectively. I want to first begin by looking at how the role of an assistant principal has changed throughout the years. In 1980s and the 1990s, assistant principals were mostly building level managers. They dealt with discipline, they dealt with buses, they dealt with safety drills, and they served as an assistant to the principal. However, in 2025, assistant principals have to do all those things, but they also have to be a strong instructional leader in order to be successful. So let's talk for just a second about the shift from assistant principal to principal. When you are an assistant principal, as you are now, there is no required evaluation. However, there is an optional AP evaluation tool that can be used to help set our principals up for successful leaders as principals. But remember, optional. So sometimes it doesn't get done. However, when you move from assistant principal to principal, you will be required to have a full evaluation on all 9 PADEP performance standards when you become a Tier 2 principal. Therefore, it's very, very important for us to make sure that you understand those standards and give you an opportunity to practice some of those. We will be looking at triangulating the data to improve instruction. We have a scenario below where an assistant principal was examining his end-of-year state assessment scores for 5th grade. He realized when he was doing his analysis that there were discrepancies between iReady, the state assessment, and class grades, class averages. And he wondered why was that, and what did he need to do to improve those classroom averages and to make sure that all 3 of those align. So we're going to analyze the data, we're going to identify some trends and some concerns, and then we're going to plan leadership actions. This is Standard 2 Instructional Leadership that we are looking at tonight. Here we have our data for the 10 5th grade teachers that we were discussing. And if you look there, I've already identified some of the trends for you through color coding. What we're going to look at is Teacher A and Teacher D because they are very similar. Teacher A and D, they both have high averages in their classrooms with their students. However, if you look at Teacher A, only 45% of those students they are at grade level proficiency with iReady. However, on the state assessment, only 38% of those students scored proficient. Same thing with Teacher D. 92% had all A's in the class. Unfortunately, 52% of those students are not on grade level based on iReady, and only 33% of those students met proficiency on the state assessment. So together we're going to look at this. Let's talk about the trends that we see. The classroom averages are high. The averages do not align with iReady and SC Ready data. And that tells us that there is a possibility that the grading practices may not align with state standards. Now I said may because we have to make sure that we look at all avenues and that we get down to what the root cause is. Then we can use that information to have some conversations with our teachers. We can look at the grading calibration. We can compare students' work to SC Ready performance tasks, and we can look for rigor and alignment to the ELA standards along with our teachers. Also, you would design some instructional leadership strategies like providing professional development on rigor, standards alignment, and effective grading practices. Or you could lead PLC meetings for teachers to compare classroom work and assessments to the ELA assessment specifications that's provided by the South Carolina Department of Education. And then next steps as a team would be to use the assessment specifications to create grade level formative assessments that would be used by all of those fifth grade teachers. You will also do some role playing after we finish with this part of our lesson, and you will be working on acting as the principal and as a teacher and discussing the data that you have. You will celebrate successes, identify concerns, and create an action plan. When you get back to your school, you take all this information and you make it relevant. You go back, you use your data to triangulate the data and to have coaching sessions with your teachers. Please complete the exit ticket on the next screen. Thank you.